happen once the session's over too. So now we are recording. We always do office hours because we want to see things that are happening around the region and make sure that we're all sharing resources. Today we have a great example of something super cool that's happening in our region that we wanted to make sure other people could hear about. So that's why we're here today. When we talk about assistive technology, we usually talk about the SET framework. That's looking at the student, the environments, the task, and the tools. And of course, we always want to look with a lens of equity, making sure that every student gets exactly what it is that they need. Today, we're going to have sharing by our guests. We have a great group of guests today. We'll make sure that we have time for question and answers. And at the end of the slide, there's some additional resources and we can do a wrap up too. But without further ado, to make sure we have enough time, I would like to turn it over to our guests to introduce themselves and tell us what they're here for today.
I'm Tina Olson. I'm the teacher for the physically impaired through the Northern Lights Special Ed Co-op, and been working with all districts around Duluth, so the other 12, 13 districts in the area. And we're with a Barnum district and a Barnum student, and I'll let Ann and Nicholas introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Ann Finifrock, and I've been teaching special ed at Barnum here for about 10 years. And I've got my favorite youngest here. His name is Nicholas. And because of COVID, we've actually learned some pretty cool things. And I'm going to turn it back to Tina. Do you want to say hi, buddy? Hi. Good job. All right. Tina, do you want to tell everybody how we got started?
Yep. So in Barnum, there's a small group of special ed students. Nicholas is kind of on his own with students at his level. And some of them are more out in regular ed classes, and we needed him to be able to socialize with other students with his their ability and age. So the work-based learning coordinator and myself and the team all came together and thought, well, what about bingo? Everyone does bingo. Or if he could read a story. He's been reading stories to younger elementary students at Barnum, sometimes in person when we could, and came up with this idea of virtual bingo and story time, where we set up with Dee, the work-based learning coordinator, really got the connection between other districts. Proctor is one that we've been doing one, and then ESCO joined with one student. So they would set up a Google Meet and put the link out to everyone, and then we would do a bingo. We'd send out the cards so that they could print them. So here's one of the spring bingos. We usually went around themes or holidays. And then Nicholas would be the caller using his TobiiDynavox, and then the group would play bingo with him. And then here's a picture here. And this is when we were distance learning, and his dad is there helping him get set up and continue on. And then you can even see is that the iPad or the laptop there, so he could see the students. And then the next picture, I think, is a story time. If you want to go ahead, there you go. Yep. So this is when he was back hybrid with his para, Ashley, and she would hold the book up so that students could see the pages as Nicholas was reading them. So we did a story time and a bingo. So Nicholas, are we going to do bingo first or a story, Ann?
I think he picked bingo first. Do you want to tell him what kind of bingo you?
Penguin.
Okay, but what kind of bingo first? Can you tell us what kind this is? You have to go back out. Use your backup arrow. Nice job. We have a pointer that we use too that can help Nicholas if we need to just remind him where things are on his Tobii. Sometimes he gets a little excited and isn't always concentrating as much as he should and usually does. Also, with COVID, he's wearing a shield so that he's protecting staff, and we're able to hook it on his headrest. But it does work with the Tobii.
Summer.
Just not as good always. So sometimes we have some glitches with that too.
Where is he?
All right, where is he?
There one I can't reach over. Look at that one.
This one.
Oh, and then the arrow.
And where are we at? The blue one.
Winter bingo.
For some reason, he thinks we need to play winter bingo, even though that wasn't the card we had, because he knows what's going on outside. So then I would show Nicholas a picture. Can you find this, please?
Snow owl.
Snow owl, and that's his favorite one, of course. He loves owls. And so then we would just go through, and he would keep calling out the different words. Probably the hardest thing for him starting out with was that wait time. And we were all at home. If you click back to the picture when we first started where Nicholas and Dad were in his bedroom, and all the kids were at home with their parents or caregivers, and so we had to be creative with that and try to communicate with each other so we knew when it was Nicholas's turn to say something. So that was kind of fun.
Earmuffs.
Oh yeah, earmuffs is the next one. Okay.
And one thing we did is just a little like dice with his name on it. So the teacher and proctor would hold it up so he would know it was his turn to do the next one.
Yep, or she had signs too that she would sometimes hold up. So any of that, just so he knew it was his turn and just a way to signal. We tried to make sure that only one of us adults was trying to run the show too, and the rest of us kind of step back and watch the process go. But to see the excitement in Nicholas, it's a little hard behind the plastic here, but he would just light up when he would see other students up on the screen. And right now we're in the classroom where we're able to have you all on the smartboard, and he thinks that's pretty cool. You're not all as cool because you're showing just a plain picture. Most of you, you're chicken like Miss Leanne. He would love to see you in person if you can show your camera. I'm calling you out because he recognizes the different people. There's Shannon. Oh, there's somebody named Casey. Can you say hi to those people? And the neat thing that we found out too is when Nicholas was playing games with some of his new friends, here they realized, there's Miss Leanne, here, that here they played baseball together in Miracle League in Duluth. So it was really fun realizing these people that are in his community, not just within our small school. Do you want to show them some stories, Nicholas? What story do you want to show them? You pick your story.
And
One of the stories that were. Oh, go ahead, Tina.
One thing we were amazed how clear it was through. That was really a good trial to see if everyone could hear well.
One of the stories that we're working on is going to be one called "It's Okay to Ask," and I'm sure many of you are familiar with this one. Nicholas learned about it when we were down in Gillette's. And this is one that he's going to be reading to some of the elementary students because they don't know Nicholas. And he happens to be the only student in a wheelchair and with these kind of needs in our district. And so he's going to be educating people in our elementary school about this. What story would you like to share with them today?
It's okay to ask.
Oh, you're going to do that one. Okay. All right.
We've got to start here.
Yes, my wheelchair.
And then what we would do
It's okay to ask.
is we would hold up the pictures in front of the screen.
19.
Sometimes we would even scan them in so that the other students could have them on their smartboard or something. Okay, we'll just read a few pages.
Yeah. Number two.
My tablet has some games, but mostly it helps me talk and laugh and tell jokes.
It's the funny part. With the joke.
Oh, you like the funny part with the jokes. Okay, I'm sorry. You wanted that. He has favorite parts, of course. Okay. You want to go from there then?
What is that? I am Ahmed and I am fun. Why was 6 afraid of 7?
Oh, there it is.
Can you bend that one? Can you do it?
Why was 6 afraid of 7?
Why?
Because 7, 8, 9.
Look at, there's Miss Brittany. She's there too. Can you look at the next page?
Why are those on your legs? Can we play games? These braces help me walk. I can even run fast with them. These braces help me walk. I am Tran, and I am adventurous.
Mhm. Nicholas was adventurous this morning. He went sliding down the hill. We'll have to show you the video, those of you that know Nicholas. It's pretty cool.
I am Carter, and I am... What is that? This is a walker. I use it to get around, like to my favorite place, the library.
Yeah.
Now we have some I am Gabriella, and I am smart.
You have a cousin named Gabriella, don't you?
What kind of bike is that? 19.
Oh. You don't have that one.
This is a special bike that helps me balance. Let's go for a ride.
Number 21.
I am Carter, and I am friendly.
Okay. Ooh, there's questions.
Now we have some questions for you. Do you like ice cream? Do you like nuts? Would you rather read a book or play outside? What's your favorite dinosaur? Do you like dogs? Here's the best question of all.
Oh.
Do you want to be friends? Do you want to be friends?
Nicholas, did you like meeting new friends? Was that fun? Yes.
I think, like Ann said, the best part of it was how happy and smiling Nicholas was when he saw all those peers, and then even recognizing one of them. So, I mean, it's just developed that we've also tried it with the step-by-step, the programmable. I just did it this morning with a student up in Two Harbors, and he was at home and he played bingo with his students in the classroom, and he was smiley, his head, he was sitting straight up. Otherwise, he's more hunched over. So, I mean, it was just so much fun, and he was giggling, and just the interactions that they can have with their classmates when they have to be at home is just all worth it. And hopefully that maybe this could be a job someday or a volunteer thing that students could do.
And with the bingo, we often use it in our classroom for vocabulary builder. We don't always even use it just for bingo, but just helping the kids recognize what different things are. And so we may call it bingo, but oftentimes we use it for the vocab part of it. And it's fun to do with the different seasons and things. We tend to laminate ours. And then what's nice, many of you probably have realized this, but you can take your dry erase markers and just make your X on top of it and erase it afterwards. this is also a great way that when Miss Joyce was working on this with us, she's the other part of our team that's not able to join us today, Joyce McQuiston, but she would hold it up and show her students and say, oh, look, I found the ladybug, and she'd have the ladybug circled or something. And so just ways that we can help depending on what level our students are at. Right?
And I did add a website on one of the slides too that you got to look for the bingo cards that you could make your own for your classrooms. Yep. DLTK Kids, and it has a lot of other coloring sheets and things like items like that that you might find helpful too for your classroom.
Sometimes we would also put questions at the end of a story or something like that, and that way it's a way to interact and get the other students to interact with each other. Maybe after reading a story, I think we read ClickClack Moo, and after that story we asked if you had your favorite animal and what that was or something like that. So tying it in so the students that are with us are able to participate and have some kind of reaction to things. Or what this one is about? Owls. And whose favorite animal is owls? Nicholas's, yes.
Nicholas, I
The other
love
one we read was Julie loves owls too? Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's so many cool owls out there.
This is another one that we like to read, No Moon, No Milk. This is one of his favorites when he was a little boy. And Nicholas, what do we make from cow's milk? It's one of your favorite snacks. Kind of cold. What's that snack that we've made from milk? Ice cream. Nicholas loves ice cream. That's him sticking his tongue out. That's his ice cream. So he loves his ice cream. So whenever we can tie something in that he's excited about, he's excited to share that with other people. We've got Ashley with us today. That's one of Nicholas's favorite paras. And one of the other pictures, that was his SLP, Rachel. And she helps him and works with the different books and things. Usually I'm not the one helping. That's why I was fumbling more with things. Usually it's something Nicholas and the girls are very solo able to do, and it's really neat to sit back and watch. So as a mom, the first time I had to actually leave the room because I had mama tears, because it was so cool to see how excited he was working with other students in our area that they never could have been with each other otherwise. And knowing how medically fragile most of them are, it's pretty amazing that we were able to do that. Nicholas Shannon just said that her family likes to go to the Dairy Queen. Nicholas loves to go to the Dairy Queen or McDonald's after every doctor's appointment or therapy session. The good thing with Nicholas, though, he's able to stop after about 3 bites. If only the rest of us could.
So it's been a little trickier to continue it on because Joyce got ill. So we're trying to get a substitute for her and to keep it ongoing. But I just scheduled today another one with Cloquet Middle School that is going to do a virtual bingo with Nicholas next week. So that's exciting. So our goal is to keep it going, even with all the kids coming back in person and continuing that connections in the classrooms.
Like Tina said, Nicholas is kind of solo right now because so many of our students have chosen to be DL because of medical reasons. And also some of our students have aged out. And so the friends that he was used to having in our program are no longer able to be here. And so for him to be able to communicate with other people that Tina and Dee and other specialists that he works with have been able to connect us with has been just an inspiration, because he has more peers now. He's not solo. And that's really exciting and helps him, I think, transition into the next part of his world. What questions do you have for us?
I have a bit of a comment just on how super cool that is, Nicholas, that you're doing that. One, to reach out to your peers and give them help them with a fun thing to do, playing bingo, but then also sort of being a peer leader for those younger students that you're reading the books to. That's a super cool thing. So thanks for doing that, and a huge thanks for showing us those. Very cool. Yeah. So if you
Yeah.
have any questions about how those things, how they're making these things work, it's a super cool project. I really like that cross district collaboration. That's really cool.
For those of you that aren't familiar with Nicholas's communication device, it's a TobiiDynavox, and he is using his eyes to actually select things on the screen. And so we will program different parts of the book or the bingo boards and things on there. But he is actually finding the things on the screen. And if you ever try it, it's not as easy as the little mouse move around and click thing that we do when we use computers and things. It's a lot more fatiguing. But he's a trooper, and he sure likes to do it. Right?
I have a
Are there any other suggestions you have? Sorry, Julie.
no, I just kind of a logistical question. Who does most of the programming on the TobiiDynavox? Is it, does the SLP do that, or do you do that, Ann or Tina? Who does most of that programming?
We all do, but a lot of times the paras do. Ashley's a pretty busy gal when Nicholas is not here. She's also supervising some other students, and so often that's when she will do more of the programming, is when she's doing some supervision of other students. We have a keyboard that we can hook into it, and that makes things go a little quicker. For those of you that don't know Nicholas, he also goes to the county fair and state fair, and he talks to the judges with his TobiiDynavox there too, and shows up all his projects and things like that that he has. So he definitely likes to be around people and socialize. So this COVID shutdown kind of everything has not been fun for him. So this has been the best thing, is to be able to get him to be around us and the others.
I'll keep jumping in with questions if no one else has them. Is this, I know you said you are now bringing in one other district. Is it something that you'd be even interested in expanding more if other people who are here are interested? Or I don't know what that would look like in terms of releases of information, or, those kind of things. But
Would you want to have more people joining, Nicholas?
Yes.
He's all for it. He wants more friends. I think the more the merrier. I think this is a great opportunity. Tina, do you want to talk more?
Yeah, I think we are totally open to having more districts get involved. And even if it is a middle school or elementary, I think the more we can get it out there, the better. The other thing I thought of just today after I did another group is how we could tie it into an ESY group maybe. Or if, let's say, Proctor does an ESY, could Nicholas join and do a virtual, bingo or story time or both, just for that ESY part. So trying to see how we can keep it going in different forms.
And it's thanks to Tina and his other specialists, because they work with the other students in the other districts. And of course, with privacy, we can't know who those students are, but yet through this allows us to make some of those connections. And I of course signed off for Nicholas, and Joyce was going to do the same thing, talk with her parents about having her kids being part of this as well. We're all very excited about this opportunity to share it with you and to get more people involved this way. If this is the only good thing that can come out of COVID, that's great. We'll take a benefit.
And another thing we thought of too, maybe even if two become friends, like Nicholas knows this other student from another district, maybe they can set up a Google Meet and they could, play bingo together, and they could invite other friends. It could be a great recreational activity.
And it was nice to get my husband involved because he's not usually involved in the school system as much. So for him to be part of things, he's used to being at home playing Yahtzee or something with Nicholas. It allows parents or caregivers to see other things that they can do with their students, and sometimes it gets overwhelming being at home with a child with special needs. And so having something like this for them and for us to look forward to, and just something different. He's laughing at you, Britt. He wants to come to the beach with you.
It's keeping me sane this year. It's keeping my energy up.
Yeah, and I think Nicholas could be on a Google Meet all day and just keep smiling. So I think if anybody does, I didn't put my email on there, but you know, they could always email Ann or myself and we could add that or send that out to you guys if anybody would want to join and do, or know of anybody in another district that this would work with, that would like to try, and we would love to extend it to get more bingos, you know, than once a week or once a month. So
That's great. All right, I'm going to stop recording here, but again, a huge thank you to all of you for sharing this